Erik is back now to show us a few things.
All right, here we go. So speed to scrapbook. So I lucked out and got some production photos, but of course the lighting sucks. Let me see. So as you can see, they're building the trench.
Ah.
See the trench right there going across, and this is where it ends at the end and crashes into the bell. Now, mathematically, they could only figure out if it would hit the bell. You know what I mean? Like through math and height and everything. But they didn't know if it was going to. So when they shot that shot, they didn't know how the bow was going to do its final thing. So when it hit the bell perfectly, the way you see it in the movie, everybody erupted in cheers, especially the engineering of it, that it actually worked. And here they are building. Now, they would actually, these were the production offices. So when they built this building, they used the production inside of it. So they were working buildings. As a matter of fact, certain areas had to clear out when the filming finally happened, because of course those buildings would be destroyed. So now here it is. This is my first day. I think I arrived. I had to set up the equipment. So I went down to the set and of course took pictures up as many pictures as I could. Keep in mind, this was on film. I wish I had a digital camera. I'd have more. Here's my little Speed 2 crew badge. And Monday, September 23rd, 1996, DMV parking lot. So I think this is the first day crew sheet and a DMV parking lot, according to here. So that was kind of cool. Some newspaper articles. So here's here's my view. This is the only thing I got to see of NASA for 1 week. Like I said, and I stayed at the Crystal Palace Casino, and they took all my money. I did manage to come home with $1. But that was a view that Alan would close the drapes to keep the room dark. I was so mad because, of course, I got stuck in a room that had no view. I'm like, you're in the Bahamas. Keep those windows open. Here's the Seabourn Legend. It's a beautiful ship. I think it's still sailing today, but of course it's been renamed. And then the famous bow. Let's see. This is when I arrived. So they were still putting it together. So, and just so you know where St. Martin is. So from Florida, way down there.
Cool.
So, yeah, the casino chip. So of course, here they are. So what they shot, of course, was the chasing down the airplane, him getting on board the plane. And then when we got back to LA, we shot all the interior of the plane. But all the stunt stuff was done, I guess, the first week we were in St. Martin. So, and then here I am reenacting the moment in the movie. So, pretty cool. Yeah, they were putting it together because look, there they are putting the top part on the ship and it isn't there. So that was kind of cool. I didn't know what they were exactly doing, So I just was shooting away. Here's an actual piece of some blueprints, how they, let's see what that says. Can you read what that says? But this is obviously for them when they slide down. whoops, sorry. There you go, right here. You see the red? So they had to do something here to strengthen these areas for them to come down on the ship. And that, I think, was shot on the real ship, that stunt. So this is a great shot that I took from up on the hill, which actually shows the whole location.
Turn it because your phone and everything's different.
Thank you. You don't like looking at it sideways?
Not for that long.
And then another shot.
It's only so far we can tilt our heads.
Mm-hmm. So there it is. They got it pulled up to start hitting the deck and then going into town. I always wondered why they didn't get a camera up here and shoot a shot, because that would have been amazing. They kept everything on the other side of the ship. For some reason, you see the little hole. There's where the anchor went through, and then where the anchor was ripped out, that little black hole. So they were matching continuity from everything that they had shot. So this is kind of fun. So, whoops, here's the interior of the condo. And it was really neat. You know, you had the set and then you had the interior of the set. So it was complete. You know, this guy was plastic or foam, made out of foam, because I remember his head falling off when he got hit. Of course, here's the boat set up for the shot when he comes running up to it. And then there's the church bell. And then they had already shot the boat. Here it is, boat crashing in and just left it sitting there for continuity. And then, of course, there's the famous thing they rode on. Let's see. And then the night before they were shooting, they were still doing some work. But I remember this was the night of. So I must have snuck out of the cutting room. So here we are the next morning. We shot Saturday the 12th, 1997, day 62 out of 96. Here's Jan. They had already, as you can see in front of him, they had already shot the boat crashing into the beginning of the deck. And so they were probably cleared out the debris and then doing another shot of it coming into the same spot. And there he is directing. So that was kind of cool. Watch him direct. About ship. Da-da-da. Let's see. Let's fund some storyboards. So that's kind of cool. Some newspaper article. So here we are crashing. Got all your things, and here I am in the condo, and that's when the bow of the ship hits the champagne bottle. And like I said, what was really cool is you're in there and just everything just starts shaking like an earthquake. So it looks like they stopped right before it hit the bottle. So they see how it's touching. And I don't think I would have been standing there during the actual filming. A little too dangerous. But here, this is where they were rehearsing and everybody was running. And that was kind of fun. And then, of course, they stopped right as it was going to hit. Yeah, they definitely stopped it. I love this shot because you can really get the scale of it, right? So they must have cleared out the debris and then went for knocking down the champagne bottle. Now, this is really cool. Let me know if this is right. So I wish I could have, I wish we had cell phones back then, but this is it coming in, and this building right here that's covering the bow is going to collapse. And there it is. And you see that in the movie, and I was standing right next to that camera when they did it. So here's a 2 to 2.5 story building that you actually watch collapsing. And how they did it is they had some cables that they yanked on to pull it back and down. So it's just like, wow, it's really cool. And then here's another rehearsal, I hope, because I don't think I'd be standing there. But it was really great to stand in front of it because, look at how you can look up. Let's see here. Is this really? Here's that Coke car in the bow. And so this is, here's your little storyboard, Short 96B, whatever it says there. Tourist and store something. Help me out.
Storekeepers.
See the monster entering this little harbor.
That's kind of fun. All right, here's the day of the big bow crashing into the front. So this is where I was standing next to the camera. There's the car that gets the anchor. So they had it in place. And then, of course, I wanted to enjoy the experience. So I waited until after it came through. You could still see the smoke from it crashing through. And that was really cool. And walking up to it, just taking pictures as I walked up to it afterwards. Here's the call sheet for the day, or the description. And then here it is through, and then there I am. Subject. So, and then here's all the damage. Just the back of the thing, side. And then here's the camera crew, like I was telling you, going in there to find the camera.
Cool.
I can't remember if the camera was destroyed or not. I'm sure it was damaged.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, that part of the set wasn't supposed to collapse. So that's pretty cool. And here's what the back of the thing. Tell me if.
Yeah, it's sideways. Yeah, it's upside down.
Nope. God dang it! What's going on?
There you go.
Yeah. That's what the back looked like. Like I said, 1,000-foot track that this thing would ride on to crash through. So they cleared out overnight. They cleared out all the condo debris, and now it had to travel to hit the bell. So here's the. This might be actually it moving toward. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it is. So these are shots of it actually physically moving from my vantage point towards the church.
Okay.
And then, of course, boom.
Wow.
Wait, show us again.
That would have been amazing since it was just chance, like you said, that it hit the bell.
Well, they planned on it, but they just never knew if.
Right. They weren't sure it would
somewhere
happen.
In the area.
Yeah.
Either above it,
that looks
below
pretty
it.
Perfect.
I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Just perfect. And the way it hit. Let's see if I have another picture. The way it hit the bell perfectly. Because it would have been, I'm sure it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, it hit the bell.
Yeah. It wasn't debris that hit the bell. It was the valve.
I mean, look at that.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't something that they could just stop. So I'm sure there was even a little problem with that, okay, will it stop just a little bit before? Will it go too far? Will it not go far enough? I mean, it's crazy. And there's the anchor in the car. I heard somebody bought that car and actually drove it around the island for quite a while with the smashed windshield.
Oh my God.
Saying it's the famous car that was, here's an angle you don't get to see it.
Yeah.
And the traffic so then they let the traffic through. So people would be driving underneath it after they stopped filming.
There was no weird kind of liability that something would fall off onto the cars.
I think they made sure
or St. Martin, it's just a free-for-all.
Well, St. Martin, of course, a little relaxed. But I'm sure they went up there and secured everything because they had to do other shots to match continuity and stuff. So they probably secured everything and then said it was all clear to let the traffic through because that was a major artery, you know.
Yeah.
Here's another great shot of. So, and here's another, here it is heading towards the church, right? And then there's the subject, me, out of focus. So that's kind of cool that I'm in some of these behind the scene photos. And then of course, here it is when it tilts. And I think that blew me away. I don't think I knew they had designed it. Here they had designing it enough to plow through all the stuff and then tilt. You know, it's just crazy, crazy complicated. I still don't even know how they did that part. And then of course the stunt, you know, here's the stunt of them going down. But the fact that they put two stunt players, if not Patrick, up on it, and then how they tucked under as it went through the condo, you know, that was all live. They actually tucked under the bow of the ship, and then the top of the condo came over them. So these are really cool shots because every day I would go to set, I would walk across the set, and then all of a sudden I couldn't do that because there was this open trench where the ship plowed through. So I had to walk like 300, 400 feet around just to get these photos because you couldn't cross anymore. And here's a great shot. Whoops, hang on. There you go. There you go. Here's a great shot of what it looked like cleaned out. And then from the back. And then here's a front. So you can get a little bit of the scale and how open trenched. Here's a great shot of what the back looked like. So yeah. So now you had a, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 foot river in the middle of the production office. So of course, here's some fun. Here I am the night before. Here I am in front of the bottle. Here I am messing around with the computer.
You're a baby.
I am, aren't I?
And look how big that computer was. How it was
I
so
know,
big and
isn't that
chunky.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Painted blue. I think I got the graphics. They gave me the graphics on a floppy disk or something. I have to look for them.
I was about to say floppy disks. Yes.
Yeah. So I think I have that
external hard
still.
drives.
Yeah. So I have to look and see if, you know, if I do find that, you know, see if it'll play the graphics of the movie. Because we got it because we needed it for insert shots back in LA, you know. And then here I am right after the bow hit the bell. And so it's one of my favorite photos ever taken on a set. I don't like the shorts I'm wearing. Makes me look fat. And I know I was much thinner than that. Of course, that's a nice shot.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that awesome? And then Cody and the producer on the movie, the editor. And Greg, I think it's Greg, one of the co-producers. Of course, there was a rap, some kind of party. I wouldn't call it a rap party, but Sandra paid for it to entertain the crew.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
So that was awesome. She threw us a party. And luckily, it was literally out front, my front door hotel room. So it was great because I could get wasted and then stumble back to the room without having to worry about driving.
Those are the best.
And here's the cutting room. The doors into it.
Okay.
And that was the view of the cutting room that I never got to see. And then here's what the bungalows look like. There are 3 sets of these. Here, let's flip the page. So see how, sorry about the shadow. Should have planned this out more. I think I was in bay 3 and the cutting room was in bay 4. So like I said, I think I stayed here, dip in a pool, shower, and then, or probably out on the end. and then
What a
work.
commute.
Yeah, here's my
That's great.
bungalow. I know, the best commute I've ever had.
Yeah.
So there's my bungalow. And then this was the view from my bungalow every morning. So I would keep the windows open. I got some mosquito repellent so I could keep my windows open so I could enjoy this every morning. You know, these sunrises that would wake me up. The sun would come right in the window. And then here's my one day on that island with the ILM crew. So as you can see, it was worth the trip for that beach. And then here's the other excursion, little snorkeling. And then one of these shells I still have in my bathroom today.
Cool.
These little shells that washed up. And here's what the island looks like divided in half. Snorkeling. So I think, well, there's maybe one or two good photos, but I think that wraps it up. We'll just flip through here. Of course, the Speed 2 wrap party. I'm so glad I still have the invitation. And then they had little fun photo displays. Patty in her dress and me in his outfit.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
And Sandra there with some crew. Here's some of the crew. The, what do you call it? The porter. I think. Here's Sandra and then Jan. So that was fun. That was a good wrap party. I don't remember much from that night because too much drinking. So this is fun. This is our editorial crew. So I'll give you a wide here first. And this is what I was talking about with all of the computer equipment. So these were the Lightworks. These are the hard drives. And then the two main computers, so mine and Alan's, the 88 DAT 3/4. Oh, you see this in the movie when he's hooking up his computer. You see one of these, and it's a switcher box. It busted me up. I'm like, I wonder if it was one of them from our stuff. And then a Beta SP, I think the DVD and I don't know. I have to look closer. D88 deck. I love those because that's how I built my sound effects. Would dump them onto that because the Lightworks at the time, there it is right there, didn't have that many tracks. So I would have to, for all these big sound effects design, temp sound effects designs, I had to build them, mix them out to that, mix them back in on one track, then do more, mix it out, mix it in, and there's my mixing deck right there. Here's a close-up, a little bit of it. So it was crazy, the in and out of that. Mike McCusker was one of our assistants. He's gone on to win an Oscar. You know. So, and then here I am. And it's funny, I look at this shot and I look pretty tired. There I am in front of the Lightworks. I look a little tired.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
I can't tell.
Well, knowing myself, that's good.
Yeah, but you know.
But some of the great crew we worked with. Here we all are. We got one of the standees in the cutting room. So we all posed in front of it. So that was fun. But yeah, I had but geeking out for any editors and early on Lightworks stuff. Of course, I always like to decorate my cutting room. I don't know if we've talked about this before. So I somehow managed to wrangle the miniature display of the buildings on the island and then put them on my top of my computer. And then I not stole, I always ask for these things. I like to say I stole them just for make me sound like I'm like a more butch than I am. But the blueprints of the ship, put them on the wall behind there, decorate the cutting room, theme it out. And it looks like this is Alan's room, and he had a Speed poster and a Twister poster. But he had worked on those movies with Jan too, as the first assistant. And then, of course, it always sucks. They do a crew photo, but we're never there because we're in the cutting room. And they might have even invited us up, and Alan said, there's no way, we have too much work to do, we can't blow away, because this was the last shot filming all the interiors. That was the last thing they filmed, was that footage. And here we are on the mixing stage, our mixers blowing our ears out. And of course, my famous thing that we talked about on Bring It On, my one-liner, showing you footages of each scene, what reel, we had to divide them up on film reels. When the reels were locked, how many versions of the reels, like reel 3 was version 12, locked on 5.2. And these are the scenes that are contained in it, and how many feet they are and how many minutes they are. So great thing. Dining room scene with diamonds. Alex gets seasick. Was 4 minutes and 26 seconds long. So let's go to the end crash scene. We had 14 reels in this movie, which was kind of huge for a release because the movie was over 2 hours long. But let's go to the crash sequence. And of course, it's divided up. Ship hits tanker and ship right here. And let's see, driver, harbor, start ship goes through condo and people. So it's kind of, don't want to take up too much time. Alex and Dante try to turn the boat. It has to be on reel 12 because it just went on forever. These are short reels too. They're only 800 feet and 800 feet. It's kind of odd. No, they all are. Well, we join them together when you do 2,000 foot loads, so that makes sense. Kind of group them together. And then, and this is funny. It says Project 6, Project 7. What that represented, you couldn't keep the whole film. See, Project 1, 2, 3. You could not keep the whole film in one project because the computer memory couldn't take it. So you had to divide the movie up in different projects. So we couldn't even sit there and watch the whole movie. We'd have to stop, go to the next room and pick it up. So that's some of its limitations back at the time. And of course, the real running time of the movie was 2:05 and 55. You think we could have added 5 seconds more to round it out?
Right.
And some actual film, one of the visual effects from the movie. So there you have it. And then the rest is just newspaper articles. Yeah. But at least it's cool to see. Yeah, it's cool to see for the crash sequence because that's kind of fun. Fun to see. So I'll turn this camera off. Kind of fun. Yeah, it's kind of fun that I made this, or at least had enough photos to make it, because it's, these type of things you kind of forget about over the years. I mean, how long has it been? When did this movie come out?
97.
How many years ago was that?
24 years.
Oh my gosh. Crazy. So it's just kind of fun to go, oh yeah. Oh, and then the greatest thing, I didn't check. Sandra Bullock gave me her autograph.
Oh,
nice. Sent a little letter thanking everybody and made little autographs.
Very cool.
So that's kind of a keepsake.
Very cool.
Very cool. So there you have it. Until next time, geek on.